my skull. My mouth is dry and my face is numb, messed up and spun out in my room. On my own, here we go. walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting older, I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. I came across a fallen tree. I felt the branches of it looking at me. Is this the place we used to love? Is this the place that I've been dreaming of? Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. So if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything. So why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. So if you have a minute, why don't we go?
Welcome to the Stand-Up Comedy Theater. It's time for No Boys Allowed. Please welcome to stage your host, Jess Roberts.
We could do better than that, can we not, folks? Like, how y'all doing tonight? See, look at that. Some great pussy power out there, folks. Yes, yes. How y'all doing? I got off work. I fucking hate my job. I work at a Rayleigh's. Somebody the other day decided to get all pissed off over our coupon system and blamed Obama. That's what I gotta do. Yeah, I don't get it either. And even the boomer that she was fucking complaining to looked at me and went, "What the fuck?" So when you're at that level, just spicy shit. It's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah. So this is No Boys Allowed. I haven't been up here producing the show in probably about 2 years. So you're in for a treat, folks. You're in for a treat. You can clap for that. This is interactive. This is interactive. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. But yeah, so No Boys Allowed is a comedy show that highlights the ladies and theys because we hear and see enough dick in this world. We don't have to, okay? We don't have to tonight. Yeah, I got a lovely group of ladies that are gonna kick some ass tonight. Really, just fantastic. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself, all right? I just turned 40. I'm kind of mad at the fucking television shows and shit that portrayed 40-year-old women as like spinsters and like fucking just really lame people because half the time no one thinks I'm 40. Yeah. And it's like, I'm so glad. But I will say this, like, you know, my 40th birthday was kind of weird. I woke up and had to take ibuprofen. And then I had my first hot flash. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was awful. It was fucking awful. But I started doing something recently. Well, not recently, but I started doing something since I turned 40. I also have the unfortunate fuckery of having a birthday on January 6th.
Oh, no.
All right, we know where the crowd is. But no, so I turned 40 and I started doing something. I started having sex again, you guys. With a man. I know, looking at the hair. She just fucking went, what? That was amazing. No, look, I'm just going to tell you, there are people that look like moi that are into men. Okay? I'm just saying, I prefer men a lot because they have, real appendages. And the appendage that I've been messing with is too large. Never had this problem before. Fucker's packing more meat than a turducken. Like, it's so weird though. It's so weird because, like, especially when you're writing on top and then you just kind of feel like a pencil, like nothing's going any further, buddy. But it's cool. Like, I've never had that. I was married and I never had that issue. Like, maybe if, no, he's a piece of shit. Never mind. But yeah, so yeah, I work in retail, and you know what? I think once a week we should be able to fight a customer. I'm just saying, I've got mine picked out. The little shitty lady that bitches about socialism but pays with EBT, I'm like, the ones that come up and like, have you found Jesus? Look here, if you haven't found him in the store, you ain't gonna find him. We carry every fucking thing. I know. I didn't know he was lost either. I love. Okay, wait. I'll tell you a quick story about something I did to some Mormons one time. So I have theater friends and shit like that. We were smoking weed like we do, and we noticed that they were knocking on the door. Well, we were doing some stuff and we were doing some horror stuff. So we started like getting the house, trashing it real quick, and we kept looking out the window like, are they here yet? No. Okay. And we just kept going and kept going. I opened the door and I'm like, are you here to take care of the bodies? And they called the cops. They called the cops on me, and the cops are like, we almost swatted you. And I was like, it was fucking worth it. It was awesome. And you know what else is worth it? This beautiful show that I have curated for you tonight. Are you guys ready for this show? Yeah. So one of the first lovely ladies that we have coming up to the stage is a newcomer. She's on the newer end of the comedy spectrum. I told you I've got newcomers and seasoned vets. So let's give it really loud and proud for this next one, because I'm telling you, you guys are gonna have some fun. Anyway, give it up for Miss Veronica. All right.
All right, how you guys doing? Good. I'm really happy to see you, and I say I'm happy to see you because I can't hear you. I'm deaf. That's not the joke. And when people find out I'm deaf, they always ask me, does this mean you have a sixth sense for nonverbal communication? I'm like, yeah. I can see dead people. I'm deaf, and I do stand up, and I don't know how, because I can't even do a regular knock-knock joke. Watch this. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
What? Exactly, yeah, I know. And I know there's like a million questions going through your mind right now. I know. And that's fine. Because I have been answering the same questions over and over again all of my life since I was 4 about my deafness. So, let's just get them out in the open, okay? I can answer your questions before you even ask them. You want to see me try? Yeah, okay, here you go. Yes, I can lip read. I do hear without my hearing aids, but it's very little. I take them off when I shower and when I go to sleep. Nobody knows what happened. My parents discovered I was deaf when I was 4, and this is just me now. Yes. I do have perfect vision. No, I don't know American Sign Language because I speak. And yes, I can tell you what those basketball players are saying on the court. Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I had a guy one time pretend to like me just so that I could lip read the basketball game. I know, that's wrong. That's wrong. I was like, I want a guy that pretends to like me just so he can sleep with me. I want to be treated like a normal woman, you know? Yeah, it was hard for me to find a man. I really struggled the conventional way. So I thought, okay, if I want a man, I need to turn to online dating, right? So then I just opened up my laptop. I sat in front of my computer, you guys, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna open up my laptop and I'm gonna set up my profile. Looking for a man who is okay with repeating himself from time to time. Must be able to flicker the light before entering the room so I don't have a heart attack. And it's a plus if he can watch movies with a closed captioning. Submit. And I got a match. I did, I got a match. I matched with a man who was raised by deaf parents. And in the deaf community, we call it CODA, and that means child of deaf adults. But there was one problem. He was white. I didn't know anything about white men. Like, what do they eat? I don't know. Right? Right? Or, you know, and he was like a little too excited for dating a Latina, you know? I wouldn't even do anything. I would just be myself. I would order my tacos in Spanish. I'd say, oh, 3 tacos de asada, por favor. He'd get all riled up. He'd be like, oh, spicy Latina, salsa caliente. Like, what is that? Why? What? Like, why do white guys do that? They turn us Latinas into food. I'm not food. I don't look at a white man and be like, oh, look at that good-looking white boy. Mashed potatoes and gravy. I know, I was offended. I was offended. So what happened was that we got married. We got married, yes, I love that white man. I love white people. They say the darndest things, white people. They say the whole enchilada. Why they say that? Do they think us Mexicans are out there having half enchiladas? You know, that's not a thing. You know, my husband says I'm a spicy Latina, and he's not wrong. Because when I was pregnant, he would come up to me and he would ask me, do you think we're gonna have a boy or a girl? I was like, babe, you're gonna love this baby, whether it's a boy or a girl or black. Just to piss him off. And then when he would get mad, I would accuse him of being a racist. And thank you, you guys. That's my time. Follow me on Instagram at All Ears Comedy, not just the deaf ears, all the ears, okay? All right, bye.
All right. Let's give it up again for Veronica, folks. Hey, just because she's deaf doesn't mean you can't make a lot of noise. Let's hear it again. There we go. The next comic. We like to sit out in that room and talk shit during open mics. It's amazeballs. Absolutely loved doing that because we can. Anyway, the next comedian, she's absolutely amazing. She's an up-and-comer, and I actually booked her for this show, her very first show. So this is going to be an exciting night for everybody. I want you guys to give it really, really loud for Rebecca.
Hey, Stab, how's it going? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jess, booking my first show. I'm really sorry. So, y'all probably already noticed that I'm a trans woman, and it's kind of weird coming up to do this show because all I can think is just one of these things is not like the others. But I knew I was trans from a very young age, and it's hard growing up like that because I'd have to be around men when they didn't think any women were around. And I gotta say, fellas, you can be real disgusting when it's bro time. Like, the only way that I could cope with it was to pretend I was like Jane Goodall living amongst the apes. I could cope with it. Just taking notes like, today Bryce bragged that he got his dick wet in the back of his Ford Fiesta. Is there a correlation between the moisture level of the penis and in-group status? It was hard, but you know, things got better for me. I got married. Yeah. Fishing for compliments. Actually, my husband and I were both transgender, and we're both bisexual. We're about as queer as you can make a straight couple. But we're still a straight couple. And like, I feel like I've like sold out on my own queerness because like I went through this deeply personal journey figuring out my gender and sexuality only to end up straight. Like, it's horrible. Just like the kind of people who go to paint nights. Yeah, you know what a paint night is. For those of you who don't know, paint nights are couples events where you all drink cheap wine and paint the same shitty picture. And ever since I got married, I want to do that. And it fucking burns. And like, my husband and I, we're also like super heteronormative. Like, we're a single income household where he's the sole breadwinner. Boring. And I'm a housewife. Also boring. And we're also like super monogamous people. Like, we are just so goddamn boring. Like who here knows what a polycule is? Yes. For those of you that aren't those two, a polycule is when a group of people are all in a relationship with each other. It's like woke polygamy. And all my trans friends are in these huge polycules where they're having like inter-polycule Dungeons and Dragons campaigns followed by massive orgies. Like they're in some nerdy version of Eyes Wide Shut. And meanwhile, I'm just over here loving and cherishing my husband like a fucking loser. But it's not just my marriage that's boring. I'm also boring. I'm lame. I don't party. I don't drink or do drugs. I'm not doing sick kick flips while ripping fat clouds from my vape. Also, my idea of cool is doing sick kick flips while ripping fat clouds from a vape. So again, I'm lame. And like, I'm not even sober for like any moral reasons. I'm just afraid of my own personality. Like, look, I've erected these elaborate walls of sarcasm and social anxiety to protect all of you. And frankly, I'm not gonna ruin all that hard work just to be things like interesting or fun. Like, take my name for instance. Rebecca's not my birth name. I chose this. And I could have chosen any name in all of creation, but I chose the most pumpkin spice, Stanley Cup, Lululemon-ass basic name possible. Like, yes, Becky. Yeah. Give the laughs, yes. Like, I knew a trans woman named Petrichor. Now that's a fucking name. It's unique, it's mysterious, it makes you ask questions like, ooh, I wonder what combination of psych meds she's on. Like, Petrichor sounds like someone who's in an artist collective. Rebecca sounds like someone who does paint nights. Hopefully. Petrichor sounds like someone who parties and does ketamine. Rebecca sounds like somebody who stays home and listens to podcasts. And not even like cool podcasts about serial killers, but like a lame podcast about knitting called something cringy like My Needle Addiction. Real podcast, by the way. They have some really interesting stuff to say. Anyways, I've been Rebecca Beskeen. Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram at UppityBecca.
Yeah, give it up for Rebecca, everybody! Petrichor kind of sounds like someone who does, like, what's that shit? Parkour in the rain. I thought of that. I'm high. I'm sitting back there like, what else could that sound like? So, isn't it also like the sound for, or the smell of rain or some crap? Yeah, there we go. I love that. Very artsy, very artsy. All right, folks, we have our feature heading your way. She came all the way from Fresno. I know! She came from Fresno for us here at Stab Comedy Theater. Woo! Anyway, without further ado, please let me welcome to the stage Miss Dana Turner.
Thank you for that hand up because I'm old and fat. I do need a hand up. Yeah, I'm old and fat, which means my pronouns are and I know that didn't clarify anything for you guys because I get it. I also look like a lesbian in training, but also my DMs are filled with nothing but black guys. I know I can go either way. I do always end up looking like I have cancer. I will tell you right now, this did not turn into a cancer benefit. I did this to save money, you guys. Like, it is working out well, I will tell you that. I mean, you got the obvious things, haircuts, shampoos, right? Out to eat, go out to eat. You'll save so much. I don't pull the cancer card, I don't do that. That's, no. What I do is, I pull a little hair out of my pocket and I lay it across the plate and then I call the waiter over and I go, well, it's not mine. 20% off of brunch, I'm just saying. What is not working out well, though, with this hairdo is dating. It's kind of hard looking for dick while looking like a dick. Not a lot of guys hovering over their Tinder search feed going, let me see, perfect woman. Fat, yeah. Bald, yeah. 50, yeah, that's her. According to that, my name should be Gerald, and I should be hoping for Salesman of the Month, but it's me. Yeah, dating over 50 also. I'm be 53 here in a few months, and it is rough. That whole turning 40 and the warranty went off. Oh yeah. So dating over 50 though really just turns into a game of who's going to go to a cardiac arrest first. It's, where you have a real fear of masturbating now because you get so close and then you think, this is how they're gonna find me. Like it's a real buzzkill. Like literally. It's so yeah, and changes dating too because 7 years ago or so, last time I was single, I would have come across a Tinder profile that said, "I want to worship your feet and call you my queen," and I would have went, "What a little bitch." 53-year-old me, ooh. Mama could use a foot slave. Mama's feet are tired. So it changes things. And I was relating to your, so much because the whole, I never got to do the wine and paint night, and I want to do that because now I also heard they have smoke and paint night, and I kind of like that. And I feel that is way safer than Oxycontin and axe throwing night. Definitely. And yeah, and then the whole open relationship, I tried that for a while. That messes with you. I will tell you, you gotta put your jealousy in check. And I did the research, and I got into it. I read Ethical Slut. I hope you guys all read that. But then I was on the search for this new one I heard about, How to Be Polyamorous by Sharon Dix. Not find that book. Read it so bad. So the other part of that being fat, I've always been plump, but when COVID hit, I was like, this is it, the world is over, eat the fucking bread. And I turned into a raccoon in a Panera dumpster. It was like sourdough Sunday, sourdough Monday, it was on. And put another 3-0 on, here I sit. So I'm looking for a guy that spells fat, P-H-A-T, Because they're so sweet, they'll act like it means pretty hot and thick or pretty hot and tempting. Sir, you and I both know it just means Pizza Hut and tacos. Thank you. Thank you for trying. But I also thought of it as okay, if this is it and the world is, going to shit because, all the COVID stuff and everybody was panicking. And I was like, the next thing is financial collapse. And then the next thing is cannibalism. That is, right? That is the inevitable steps of the downfall of society. So I was like, all right, well, I'm doing you guys a favor. I'm just saying, like, I have been marinating myself for 50 years in Weston bacon cheeseburgers and Doritos, so you're welcome. I'm saying dig a pit, line it in banana leaves, juicy. So, yeah. So that's what I gotta find, a guy. I gotta find a guy that doesn't run for fun. I gotta find a guy that understands getting out of a recliner is a 3-point turn. Like, gets it. I like a thick boy too. It's the problem. Because 2 thick people can't date. You know? I saw the head like, what? Let me explain it. Let me break it down, because it's a parts to parts situation. Okay, because you know, we all love the Sunday morning big spoon, little spoon, right? That's so nice. And then you start getting all, you know. So when you're 2 big people, and I got like all this going on, and he's got all this going on, you can't get those parts together. I get a back cramp trying to get it out. It's like playing genital Tetris. It's like, and it just doesn't work. There's no big spoon, little spoon. It's like the Sunday morning ladle. And when your head is hanging off the bed, it's not nearly as romantic. So, but yeah, I like a burly guy that looks like he owns land somewhere, you know? Like he says he's gonna bring a Colt 45 and a Magnum, and I'm not quite sure if he means guns or beers and rubbers. Beers and rubbers. You know, somebody that looks like his mama lactated ranch. Like he's gonna impregnate me and then vote away my reproductive rights. That's hot to me. So, that's what but you know, I'm never gonna find him because I am at home watching serial killer documentaries, right, ladies? Thank you. And if anybody in the room here, I know you all get it, but if one person in this room doesn't get why we love serial killer documentaries, that's hot right there. That's an alpha male. He chased his dreams and finished what he started. Wow, you know? He knows what to do. He can lift dead weight. You know what I'm saying, you know? It's hot. So anyways, that's what I do with my cat, of course. But it teaches us things. I know now I'm never gonna go on a first date with one of those escape rooms. That's a serial killer interview right there. He is testing my skills. No, sir. So you learn things watching those. But at this point, I'm not going to meet anybody unless it's like prolonged eye contact with the Amazon delivery guy. That is all I got at this point, because I'm about to just like, you know, put my speaker on the balcony and play like Sarah McLachlan. Just let the arms of the angel lure them in, I guess. It works for 3-legged, one-eyed chihuahuas. Might work for me. I'll just put a little kennel card on my door, though, that'll have to say, like, hi, my name is Dana. I play well with others, am affectionate, but can be aggressive over food. That's what my card will say. And if we get married and it works out, of course, our invitations won't say, today I married my best friend. They'll say, who rescued who? Because of this age, right? So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. Yeah, so being old, trying to date, it's not fun. I'm actually a grandma now. I am. And people trip out at my boys too, because I have identical twin boys, right? And one is super butch and one is super gay. And they always assume because they're identical that they should have the exact personality. No, they're not, right? And people are fascinated by that then, because then they'll say, well, the gay one, like, how did you know he was gay? And I was like, well, when he came out. And they're like, yeah, no, what age, what did he say? And I'm like, I just said, when he came out. We knew. He took his first steps in a pair of red high heels. It went from this to this real quick. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, his first words wasn't mama. It was, Mom, are you really going to wear that? Still says those words. But they're great. But yeah, so we knew early on, and people always ask that, they ponder that, what did my child get? They never say, well, when will I know my child's straight? Like, when will you get that confirmation? And that happened early also. I was not expecting this. They were 3 years old. what had happened was I was giving him a bath, right? And I take my little Tonka truck living little butch boy out and I'm drying him off and I say, okay, buddy, go get your jammies on. And I'm taking his brother out and I hear screaming from the bedroom. I go running in there. He's standing there naked with a train track hanging off his little 3-year-old pee-pee. I get down, I pulled off, he was fine, there was no damage done, but it was that moment I realized this kid was naked, alone in his room for 10 seconds at 3 years old. And his first thought was, oh, fuck that train track. Like he offered to come to the show, and I was like, no, they got a great train museum. I don't want to, don't, stay home. This is gonna get uncomfortable. Good, that's temptation there. It's a beautiful museum down there. But yeah, so my boys are great. They're adults now. They're 25, and one made me a grandma. And having boys, you think, oh, it's so easy having boys. And you think it's gonna be that you're not gonna have awkward conversations. You think, all right, they're gonna turn 2 years old, you're gonna start potty training, you're gonna throw some Cheerios in a toilet, and you're gonna say, aim for that. And then you do nothing for a few years, and they turn 12, and you throw some Cheerios in a sock, and you say, aim for that. What I didn't expect was to have an awkward conversation when they were 8 years old. And I teach childbirth classes and reproductive health. Conversations to me are totally normal, right? But I didn't expect that one day I'd come downstairs and they were in this like, oh, you know, let's do chores, Mom, let's help. Great. And they decided they were gonna help with the laundry one day. And I come walking down and they're both standing there and they say, Mom, we gotta talk to you about what we found in your hamper. And I'm like, I don't keep that in there. And then the other one says, yeah, we saw where you pooped your pants. I was like, poop my pants? I'm a middle-aged pot-smoking mom. If any accident's gonna happen, I'm gonna piss my pants, right? Like, right, okay. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And then ding, ding, I think some of us got it. Period panties, yes. So I'm like, oh my God, I never thought I'd have to explain period panties to 2 8-year-old boys. I had no choice. I said, honey, sometimes mommies shit their pants. Because I was not about to explain that. Turns out that's pretty cool to 2 8-year-olds. But they were fun. I loved, like, you know, just you got this new little life and you can teach them and make them good little human beings, you know. And I tried every vacation to always incorporate some sort of fun and learning. So we went to a lot of museums. Win-win parenting situation, by the way. One price, you get paid to loiter. It's always air conditioning, cafeteria. You got that quiet room where the educational movie plays on loop, and you know it's a good one. When you got the Korean grandma with the abnormally large hat and the like plastic baggie of some kind of fruit, and she's asleep in the corner, that's a good room. So you take a little nap, and then you go into one of those super clean bathrooms about an hour before the laser light show at the planetarium starts, set to the Beatles music at the Berkeley Space Center. And you eat that special brownie that you packed. And then you have a beautiful day with your boys, listening to the Beatles and watching laser lights. And then it ends, and then you're like, I can't drive right now. You know? And then you're like, then you start like, oh my God, like, what kind of mother am I? You know, am I a good mother because we went to the museum, we had a fun day? Am I a bad mother because I did drugs in the bathroom? Like, what kind of mother am I? And then you're like, I am motherfucking high. We gotta go look at the telescopes for another 90 minutes at least. But it's fun. I love them. They're fun. I'm glad they're not weird like me. I don't know if you caught on, I'm a little weird. I knew I was weird when a guy said one time he was into baby talk, and my first thought was, I'm sorry I ate the crayons, Daddy. But I ate the glitter too, so my poop will be sparkly. I knew I was weird. I also knew I had ADHD at a very awkward time too. I was in the middle of a hookup as a mature woman, too many years, undiagnosed ADHD. And I knew it was a problem because, I know half this room knows, right? Okay, when you hear something, that's where you are. Doesn't matter what your body's doing, where your brain, when you hear it, that's where you are, okay? So, a hookup was on his way, I was watching Young Frankenstein. Yada, 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 we moved our way to the bedroom. I could still hear the movie from the bedroom. So we're doing our thing, but I'm still watching the movie in my head. And it gets to the part where the monster says, you know, the famous, Ritz! You know, and he's trying to say put another Ritz, but he's a monster, so, you know, it sounds like that. And I think to myself, that's exactly what it would sound like if you had a dick in your mouth. And I laughed out loud. Because I think I'm funny. And it was right as I was putting his dick in my mouth. True story. I hope nobody here ever has to hear the sound that somebody makes when they put your genitals in their mouth for the first time ever. But here's what that sounded like that night. I was like, oh my God, totally hurt me. I don't want to think I'm laughing at him, but I have to explain it real quick. So I stood up real quick and I went, Frankenstein. And I went back down, I finished the job, because Mom didn't raise a quitter, right? But here's the problem with that, you guys. Either that man figured out what I was trying to say, or there is some dude in Fresno now that thinks Frankenstein is my safety word. And for everybody here, I brought Frankenstein stickers. Feel free to stop, give everyone a way out. Thank you, good night, you guys.
Woohoo! Give it up again for Dana Turner. I too have had one of those weird ADHD moments during sex, because the problem is, if you don't know, when you're having sex, it's really hard sometimes for an ADHD person to actually achieve an orgasm. It is, because everything it's overstimulating. It's a lot of stuff. Anyway, the long story short, my ex-husband and I were going at it one time, and in the middle of it, he's like, "Where the fuck did you go?" And I was like, "You know a clownfish?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know a clownfish." I said, "Well, if the female clownfish dies, the male transitions into a female. So Finding Nemo, Marlin would not have been trying to find his son. Marilyn would have been trying to find his." And he just looks at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "ADHD, baby." Alrighty, so anyway, we're gonna get your headliner up here. I absolutely love this person, and because Facebook Memories is a bitch, I was scrolling through the other day and I realized that 3 years ago, this lovely lady actually headlined one of our older No Boyz Allowed shows, so I'm super stoked to be bringing her back on a show 2 years later. Anyway, you get the idea. But yeah, she was the 2019 top comic from the Sacramento News and Review. Sorry, I thought of Gigi for a second. But yeah, so I'm telling you, you're gonna have a really fun time with this comedian. I've absolutely adored learning from her and doing all sorts of fun stuff in and around the area. So please give it loud and proud for Melissa McGillicuddy.
How y'all doing tonight? It's good to be here. Hey, make some noise for the other comics that you saw tonight. I feel like I learned a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I learned a lot. It's good to be here at No Boyz Allowed, except for they book a headliner that looks like one. Also, I saw in the description that they're like of the show online that they're like actually boys are allowed. Yeah. And you just know that like some dude complained, you know? He was like, "I've never been denied access anywhere." So now it's like No Boyz Allowed asterisk. I always call the show Boys Don't Cry. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm channeling my mom all the time. I'm just like, "You doing the Boys Don't Cry show tonight, honey?" Yeah, that was the improvised portion of the show. Now we're just gonna dive right into the material. I saw a bumper sticker on my way here tonight, and it said "Make Heaven Crowded." And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get into this Uber. I was just like, "Excuse me, so like, what's your timeline on that? Do you mean like tonight, or can you get me to Stab?" So I was like, okay, I'm gonna drive to Stab. So I got in my car and I realized that I needed to get gas, as one does. So I stopped over at the Arco on, it doesn't matter, they're all the same.
It does matter.
Have y'all been to the Arco?
Yeah.
At night?
Yes.
Alone?
Yes.
By yourself? Yes. I pulled up and I looked out my window. I was like, what is happening here? I was like, every character from Grand Theft Auto is in this parking lot right now. That's the whole joke. Thank you. Just a quick one. I went to In-N-Out today. Thank you. Yeah, these are all just jokes about errands that I had to run. I went to In-N-Out today, and the gentleman working the drive-thru greeted me by saying, "Oh, good morning, sir." Yeah, I didn't know how to respond either. Yeah, I didn't know In-N-Out was open in the morning. If you didn't laugh at that joke, you're confused. You're like, why would we be laughing at this young white man? They let him into Boys Don't Cry, so. It was really cute though, the In-N-Out guy, I could tell like right when he had realized his mistake, you know, and he tried to, you know, make it up to me. He's like, take some free ketchup packets, m'lady. It's really cute though. I enjoy seeing people kind of like realize their mistake, you know, because like people will get upset when they call me sir, and then they realize that I'm not a sir, and it's like, it's okay. I picked this look. Like if you call me sir, that means that I'm doing it right. It means that the Kohl's Boys Department is accurately representing me today. Thank you. This show is actually brought to you tonight by Osh Gosh Bagosh. Thank you. I recently learned, it's pretty upsetting news, I no longer fit into clothes from the boys department. I know. It was a tough day for everyone involved. I was the only person involved. And I had called my mom up to be like, I need to do some clothes shopping. These boys' clothes don't fit me anymore. And my mom's like, don't they make chunky boys' clothes? And I was like, Mom, it's husky, yeah. Where are my husky boys at? Just me tonight? All right, that's cool. Flying solo. All right, you guys, so I have a conspiracy theory. Can I share it with you about the whole boys department? Okay. So now I know what you're thinking, like, I don't fit in boys' clothes anymore. It's like, Melissa, you just gained a little bit of weight, right? No, that's not what happened. Okay, so I gained a little bit of weight, okay? But now hear me out. So currently in my closet, I have like circa 2018 boys' clothes. And they fit me, right? This is a boy's shirt. It still fits me. But these new boys' clothes, they don't fit. And so here's my theory. I feel like big clothing's out there. They're just like, we can't have our husky dacks wearing these boys' clothes. I just assume that's what big clothing sounds like maybe like a little bit inbred. So my mom and I were clothes shopping, and we were kind of just doing our own thing, right? We were at TJ Maxx, we were feeling fancy. I had a gift card. So we were just kind of doing our own thing in the store, and I had found some clothes that I wanted to try on. So I went into the fitting room and I was trying them on, as one does, and I realized, you know, I needed like that mom's second opinion, you know, like, Mom, what do you think about this shirt? And so I called her, because it's like the 1800s and she doesn't really text. So I called her and I said, Mom, I'm in the fitting room, can you come take a look at this shirt? And she's like, yeah, I'll be right over. And she goes, are you in the women's fitting room or the men's? I was like, what? Why would you ask that? It's like, why would I be in the women's? I already told you, your boy's a man now. Thank you. I can't shut up. I mean, it works out great as a comedian, but for my day job, it can get me into trouble. By a round of applause, how many of us here have like an office type job? Okay, good, a few of us. It's always awkward when, wait, did you hear that? Or, she's not really deaf. Sorry. That was for me. It's always awkward when there's just like one person that works in an office, you know, and you're just like, well, sir, this next 20 minutes is for you. So for those of us who work in the office, like, you know about like the dreaded team meeting, right? Yeah, and I have to give myself the pep talk. I'm like, you got this. You don't have to say anything. right? We just gotta get in the meeting, you sit there, you don't tell any cute stories, like this isn't a time to work on stand-up material, like you don't have a speaking part in this role, right? And then I get in the meeting and I'm just like a dog in the dog park, you know, just humping everybody's leg. I actually clocked myself last time. I lasted 12 seconds before I was like, well, actually, Carol. I don't even wear glasses, so there's no need to do that. But here's the thing, okay? We can't trust Carol, okay? Because Carol CCs herself on her emails. Have y'all seen this? Yes. Yeah. Honestly, it's the most unhinged person in the office. So if you haven't noticed it, keep an eye on the CCs, and you'll see what I mean. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm always blown away with Carol CCing herself, because I'm just like, Carol, have you checked the sent folder? I was like, the call is coming from inside the sent folder, you know? Carol's also the one that has that like 17-line signature block, you know? It has like a fax machine, like a fax number. It's like, Carol, we threw that away in 1994, okay? And then there's like an inspirational quote at the bottom from like Gandhi or like MLK, you know? It's just like, Carol, the signature block cannot be half of the email, but that's Carol. The latest thing that I can't shut up about is getting carded for a hop water. Okay, Jess knows what I'm talking about. Am I the only one getting carded? Do they think I'm just 12 years old trying to buy alcohol? Like, it's really confusing. Okay, so for my people who don't know, okay, so like, I get it maybe in theory, like O'Doul's and like fake beer, right? It technically has like a teeny tiny bit of alcohol in it, right? So like in theory, if you drink like 40 in 10 seconds, you might get a buzz. I know that was a really specific example, but I can't speak any further on that. But the hop water is just carbonated water and cockroach insecticide. It's like 0.0% alcohol, and every time I go, they card me, and I'm so incredulous about it. They're like, can I see your ID? And I'm like, for water? So last time I went to Safeway, I was like, it's like, you got this. Like, you don't have to say anything. Like, you know they're gonna, just have the ID ready. Like, you know they're gonna card you, you know? Actually, I was like, maybe they fixed the system, right? Like, you've complained enough. So I get up to the cash register. She's ringing up my items, just like, boop, boop. Beep. Oh, can I see your ID? And I'm just like shaking as I hand over my license. She like punches it. I'm like, really? Lady, I'm 41 years old. Like, no one's like, you don't have to punch in my birthday for the hop water, okay? So she gives me back my ID, everything's bagged. She gives me the receipt, and I was like, we did it, Joe. Like, I didn't say anything. And then as I'm walking away, I'm like, it's kind of crazy that you're fucking carding people for water. So that's what's going on with me. Thank you. I recently got a tarot card reading. Thank you. And I was told that I was gonna meet my soulmate in the next 6 to 12 months. So I'm just out here trying to get the word out, seeing if anyone else is looking to meet a soulmate in the next 6 to 12 months. I don't know why the tarot card reader made it sound like I was doing a hard time. She's like, you're gonna be doing 6 to 12 months. Hard time. But I'm actually not sure how I feel about the tarot card reading. I don't know if I feel like super ready to get back out into the dating world. I did just go through a breakup recently. Thank you, yeah. It's pretty fresh, so we'll see how these jokes go. Yeah, we just broke up 2 weeks ago. Plus 50 more weeks. Yeah, feels like yesterday, am I right? Don't you hate it though when you're going through a breakup and everything reminds you of your ex? Right? Like I was having lunch with a friend recently and I went to go take a sip of water and I got a little bit choked up, you know, I was like, I'm sorry. My ex drank water too. In a glass like this and everything. But my friend was really sweet. She could tell I was having a tough time with the breakup. I don't know if you heard, pretty recent. So she got me a gift card for a massage, right? She was like, treat yourself. I've paid someone to touch you. So I went on the website to make an appointment for the massage, and I noticed that the massage dude was a dude. Yeah. I thought I was at No Boyz Allowed massage parlor, but I was wrong. Yeah, so I wasn't like super into that, but then I was like clicking around on the website a little bit more, and there were some pictures of him on there. And I was like, oh, I think this guy's gay. And I was like, well, that's fine, right? Like, a gay guy can touch me. So I make an appointment. I show up. This guy was not gay, okay? Like, whatever twink filter he's using on his website, it is not coming through in reality. So now I'm in this, like, dark and questionable room with him, and he's telling me to undress to my level of comfort. So I took off my Fitbit. I didn't even want to take my shoes off, you know. I was like, I don't know, I feel like this guy has a foot fetish. But the massage was good. It was actually a very good massage, very therapeutic. It kind of launched me into this like bigger kind of like self-help kick thing that I've been on lately. Y'all feeling the self-help? A little bit? All right. So the latest thing that I did was I got a new therapist. Thank you. Yeah. I had previously been seeing a different therapist, but she left her practice, so I decided that I won. That's how it works, right? Like, if you tell your therapist your problems and they quit, then you win therapy. Fast forward to present day, turns out not winning. So I went out and I got a new therapist. And I immediately did not like her just because she wasn't my other therapist, right? But now that we've gotten to know each other, you know, we've had some sessions, absolutely not. Still hate the bitch. It's just not gonna work out. And here's the thing. I feel like she doesn't understand me, you know? Like, we have communication problems. And I think communication's kind of important in therapy, right? So I'm trying to make this thing work, right? Like, I'm at the point now where I'm ready to go to therapy with my therapist, right? Just so we can kind of work through some of these issues, right? We need like an unbiased third party here. So this one time she gave me some good advice, right? Just the one time, and I agreed with her. So I said, for show. It's a medical term. And she looked a little confused, right? She's like, excuse me? And then I realized I was getting kind of more of like a great aunt, more of like a grandma vibe from her. So I was like, okay, I need to pivot here. I said, I mean, I am in accord with what you are saying. I was like, for sure, right? It's like your generation's twas. I think she knows that I don't like her, though, because last time I saw her, I said to her, I don't like you. She was such a pro, though. You know, she's like, how does that make you feel? And I was like, I don't want to pay my copay. Let's wrap this up. So I was going to tell just how much time I was going to tell. I had a little bit long. Okay, 5 minutes. Cool. I was like a little bit longer story, but if I only had like a minute left. All right, I don't even need to say any of this out loud. Okay, just killed 30 seconds. She's like, wrap it up. So the good advice that she gave me was that, like, you know, to kind of work through this breakup, I needed to like get out there, start living my best life. You know, she was like, you just got to get out there, live, laugh, love. And I was like, I'm more of like a lit, laugh, fuck kind of gal, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. So at first when she was like, you need to go out and get new hobbies, I kind of was like, I have a lot of hobbies. I like doing stuff. And then I realized, actually, I was like, I don't leave the house. I was like, I was contractually obligated to be here tonight. Otherwise, I would have just been watching on YouTube. But I don't know, ever since COVID, I realized that I am like actually a 100-year-old lady, you know, and I just like don't ever need to leave the house. And I don't mean to brag, but I live on a busy street, and there's always just like something going on in the neighborhood, right? And I can just like creep open the blinds a little bit, like, right, just like not in like a creepy way, but just like in a health and safety neighborhood watch kind of way, right? And so a couple weeks ago, there was a little fender bender outside my place. Like, I heard it, and I was like, oh, we're gonna pause Handmaid's Tale real quick. Went to the window, went to the wall, then the sweat done dripped off them balls. Yes, thank you, she knows it. She's heard this one before. So there, like I said, there was a little fender bender, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. You have my attention. And then the police arrived. And I was like, oh, now I'm fully invested in this, right? I found binoculars. Like, I didn't even know that I owned binoculars. And my cat, she was also watching. She had her little opera glasses, and we were just in the window. Okay, so basically, like I said, small fender bender. What happened was like the driver of a vehicle hit the other car, right? And that driver is just standing on the sidewalk, right? And he's waiting for the police to approach. And all of a sudden, I see him. He reaches into his pocket, and he throws something behind him into the grass. And I was like, oh, those are the drugs. I was like, those are definitely the drugs. So now I'm waiting for either the cops to find the drugs or everyone to leave and I can go out and find the drugs. Right, just for science. Like, I didn't want to take the drugs, because, I figured this, like, somebody else in the neighborhood was also watching and this was going to turn into some, like, No Country for Old Men kind of shit, and I just, like, can't handle that stress. So finally everybody leaves and I was like, I'm gonna go out, check this out. And I'm just like digging around in the grass like a tweaker in the middle of the day, just fitting in perfectly in Midtown. And I pick up 2 little packets out of the grass. I was like, oh my God, he actually threw something into the grass. It's just like that Shakira song, right? The binocs don't lie. So it's a thinker. I look at the packet and it says Blue Chew on it. And okay, a couple people know, right? So I did not know. I was like, this is no strain of weed I've ever heard of. So I threw it back into the grass, but I'm a curious fella, right? So I Googled it and I was like, what is this Blue Chew that the kids are doing these days? And it turns out that Blue Chew is for erectile dysfunction. Yeah, I was like, this poor guy didn't want to get busted by the cops for having a limp dick, All right, I have one more little quick one that I'll do for you. What do I got here? Oh, okay. So, were any cat lovers out here? Yeah. This is way too late for the cat people to be out. What are we doing out this late? Where are my dog lovers at? Okay. I have never heard the cat people be louder than the dog people. So, yeah, there's always like a guy in a flannel that barks at me. I was like, John, you couldn't make it tonight. Yeah, so one of the other things I did was that I got a new cat just, after the breakup, just traded one pussy for the other. So I have a cat. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. She loves her mama. She loves Jesus. And America, too. Yeah, I was going to name her Tomcat Petty, but I went with Sassy instead. Like I said, Sassy is a good girl. She's not here tonight. She usually comes to shows, but it's a little late for her. She's a good girl. Only problem with Sassy is she likes to eat the house plants. Right? And so I'm also a plant daddy, obviously. So, I turned to the internet to try to figure out how can I get my cat to stop eating the plants, right? And the internet was like, just sprinkle some cayenne powder in the soil. They don't like that. I come home, this bitch is just doing lines of cayenne powder. Like, she does not care. So I went back to the internet. Internet was like, that didn't work. Just squeeze a little bit of citrus, right? Squeeze some lime in the plant. I was like, I'm basically just seasoning the plant for her at this point. I was like, clearly the Chipotle website was not the best place to get this information. Hey, yo, I've been Melissa McGillicuddy. Thank you so much for coming out to Stab tonight.
Give it up one more time. So this has been a production of No Boyz Allowed here at Stab Comedy Theater. Let's give it up for Stab real quick. Yeah. If you notice, this wall is only partially done. There's been some renovations recently here. The stage is a little more reinforced and looking beautiful. And we have this lovely collage because this is kind of like their anniversary of, being open. So apparently he likes to do projects every single time. But we in the comedy community actually did a little bit of a project ourselves. And Jesse, hello, sir. So you guys are going to see a small presentation of our little appreciation for Jesse and Stab. And just so that we can embarrass him a little bit more, last week was his birthday, so give it up for him for his birthday. Sucker! All right, so this is the Stab appreciation thing.
Welcome to Stab Comedy Theater. We're a comedy theater in Sacramento, California. We stream live, improv, stand-up, sketch, podcast, gaming, music, art, and radio streams 6 nights a week, and we're live in person Thursdays through Sundays. Check out stabcomedytheater.com for the full calendar of events. Boom! 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 Nailed it!
I love Stab because I do all these really weird, funky shows that only Jesse would let me do, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, Jesse, and happy anniversary, Stab.
Happy anniversary, Jesse. I'm really stoked about this. Little known fact, when I was first kind of coming up in comedy, I actually got my first ever out-of-town gig at Stab Comedy Theater. And ever since then, it's just been really one of my favorite places, like, no doubt. But anyway, Jesse, happy anniversary.
Hey, Jesse. I just wanted to say real quick that I love Stab because you've just created this comfortable and safe space for me to dip my toes into doing comedy. And I'm just really thankful that you created such an amazing theater for people to put on just great shows.
Why do I like Stab? Stab Theater provides a lot of great opportunities for us local comedians to have a good time and to be funny. There are a lot of really great long-running shows that are really fun to watch or to perform on. Plus, it's a great place to pitch new ideas and just be creative and let loose. Not to mention the fact that Jesse brings together people from the larger comedy community in and around Sacramento area and gives us lots of opportunities to get to know each other and do fun stuff together. It's a really great place to laugh and have a good time.
Happy anniversary. Why do I love Stab? I love Stab because Stab is the place I feel at home. Stab gives me the most opportunities to do the things that I want to do and be the person who I want to be.
Hi everyone, Dan the Can Stand-Up Comedian here. Hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to say a few things about Stab Comedy Theater. Stab is one of my favorite clubs in town. I love all the variety of shows they have there, including my own show, I Won't Stand for This. I really appreciate working there. Please go visit them soon. Thank you, bye.
You know what I like about Stab? The size, originally. It was a small place to like work out all the stuff you wasn't so sure about bringing out. I also like that Big Daddy Jesse almost let me beat a bigot's ass once. That's why I like Stab. Happy anniversary.
I'm here saying happy anniversary to Stab, and we're all here to
We love you. We love you. Say happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Okay. All right. We love you, Jesse. Bye.
Hey, Jesse, you need to know what Stab offers all of us. It's a space we can create, have fun, meet new people, spark joy, and spend a night laughing. You offer people accessible live entertainment that strengthens a community. Thank you.
Hey, so as we can see, this is a Stab Appreciation anniversary video, and I am extremely grateful for Stab Comedy and Jesse taking a chance on my little show, No Boyz Allowed. It was the first show that I ever produced, and I couldn't be prouder to have it in a venue that actually has true inclusivity and safety all around. The beautiful messages of family and home and just feeling like you can be yourselves is one of the main takeaways that I will ever have from Stab, because it is a home to me, and it's comfort, and it's being able to see the people that I care about performing and playing and doing all the things that they find funny to make other people laugh, because sometimes that's all we need is a good laugh to kind of forget about the craziness that is involved in our little worlds. So as I say this, happy anniversary, Jesse, and thank you so much for creating what you have here with Stab and the sacrifices and hard work that you have done to continue to bring Stab into our community. Thanks, bud. Love you. And there you have it. I don't know, but he's the man behind the curtain and the person you've been talking to all night. So thank you guys for coming out. I hope that you guys get home safe and come back again. There's a whole bunch of improv tomorrow. If you like improv, come in tomorrow. If not, still come tomorrow. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Have a great time.
All right, everybody, that is it for us. Thank you for coming out. As Jess said, lots of improv podcast stuff tomorrow. Special shows tomorrow. So check it out. Check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're live in person Thursdays through Sundays, and we stream every gosh darn thing we do. Thanks for coming out. You can enjoy an anniversary celebration on Sunday for the finals of Duel 6. You know what? Just check out this calendar. You can see what's going on. Thanks for coming out. Get home safe. Hope to see you again soon.